end of the day, as an investor, we make money on what we invest into. So idea is we are not doing charity. We are here to make returns. And returns are basically subjective to what valuation you enter into any of the startup, and you take an exit at a valuations. IPOs are non-existent in Indian market as such. If you look into the IPO story, there are far and few which we can quote across. So end of the day, we are exiting across with a VC exit where a large VC would buy our secondary stakes, or we are having an corporate exit where a corporate is buying and there is a liquidation event, or we are having an equi-hire where we are trying to get or salvage our capital, what we have invested. These are the three forms of exit. So starting across from that exit mode, how are we getting into the startup valuation side is what I would like to touch upon. One thing which you need to do across very clearly is do not compare with US numbers or deals done in the same space when you are trying to do across investments. Each deal is unique. No benchmarks works at seed stage, right? So you need to look at every deal independently. Yes, you can study across what's happening in the world, how it is happening, what is the value getting created across. But when you are looking at an investment deal or an opportunity, each has to be evaluated on its own merit, on its own future plans, or on its own growth capabilities. So no benchmarks. So you look at, this is one of my filters when I talk to a lot of the startup founders, is say that when startup founders comes into the pitch meeting and talks about valuation for over 5 minutes and how he has arrived at that deal is dead for me. If at the seed stage, a startup founder discussing on valuations, right, continuously is a dead deal. These are the things which you need to take care while you are working on valuation or are in discussion with any startup founder is, valuations keep evolving over time due to sentiments or in correlation with market conditions. In startup investing, all the money goes into the startup to build a company. So it's a long-term vision. It's a long-term investment. But the valuations have a correlation on the startup investing. So for example, in today's time, you will see across valuations are getting flatter. There is renegotiations which are happening across. The sectors which are winners and losers are clearly defined in COVID times. So investors need to sharpen or reshape their investment thesis on what sectors will be working across. There are great sectors which are booming, and if you are investing into that sectors, possibly the valuations will be much richer than what it was earlier. So valuations keep evolving over time. What happened 6 months back and holding now doesn't warrant across. Price is not always the value of the startup, right? So what you are investing at what valuation and what is the value of this real startup, that discovery happens at the much later stage, right? We can't assess a startup based on their ARR and MRR and give out a multiple. That might be a good way to back up the math and say that, okay, we gave this multiple and that's how this valuation was arrived.